Good evening, everyone. I now call Policy Board meeting to order. Thank you very much. VIP here. Is there any remote participation tonight? Seeing none. Can I please get the roll call?
Member Chiesa.
Here.
Member Graywall. Member Buck Condit.
Here.
Member Chance Condit. Member Withrow. Chair Lopez.
Here.
Member Carr.
Here.
Member Swallen.
Here.
Member Escutia Brayton. Member Wright.
Here.
Member Graham.
Here.
Member Gilbert.
Here.
Member Clazel. Member Hernandez. Here. Member Phillips.
Here.
Member Gokin.
Here.
And Caltrans Representative Gregoria Ponce.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to public comments. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment at this time? Seeing none. Moving on to the consent calendar. Is there anybody, any of our members would like to pull an item on the consent calendar? Seeing none. Any members of the audience? Come back for a motion.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor? Thank you. Moving on to discussion items. A, this item is being pulled and brought back to the policy board in February for the state legislative platform. They are not available today. Moving on to B. Motion to accept by resolution 2422 the fiscal year 2023-24 Measure L annual report. Jean Falletta, so she will be doing B, C, and D, just for the record. Correct? B, C,
Just
Jose
the
Luis
two.
got thrown in here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was the other.
Is that a sign that I'm starting to need glasses? Okay. Go ahead.
Oh,
Jean.
thank you so much. Yes, this item was brought to the policy board last month, if you do recall. And we were asked to bring it back again this month. So there was an opportunity for the board members to go ahead and take a look and review the annual report. And so that's what we're doing today. We're asking your acceptance of this report. Before you is the 23-24 Measure L report that includes revisions from agencies, stakeholders, including the MLOC and the local jurisdictions. And I want to really thank and put a shout out to all the local jurisdictions and all the people that helped us put this report together, because it was definitely a group effort, and we really appreciate it. And also I want to thank Blake Dunford, who had a lot to do with making this report come about. Next slide. So this is your revenues and expenditures. I do want to point out a couple of things. First of all, you can see the totals at the bottom of revenues, 60.4 million, and then the expenditures of 5.5 million. 50.5 million. Thank you, Jose Luis. And then I also want to point out to you the streets and roads up at the top there, and then also the regional projects. These are two of the largest pots of money that we have for Measure L funding. And you can see, like, for the streets and roads, the revenues were 29.9 million and the expenditures were 26. And with the regional projects, it was 16.7 million, and the revenues were 16.7 million and the expenditures were 15.2. And so that just shows you that we're doing a really great job of going ahead and going out there and putting our money to work and bringing in and delivering these great projects. Next slide, please. This slide highlights some of the some of the highlights of the local projects. I listed them all, but I do want to point out the two with the asterisks because those are the ones that are that have the picture there. So the first one is on top, and that's the Waterford Improving F Street project. And again, here you can just see all the hard work that has been done. You can see the before of the project and the after of the project, and you can see that nice smooth road that people can now drive on F Street. And then the one on the bottom is the Modesto Paradise Road project. This one is really neat because it's helping students get to school safely. If you look at the left-hand side of the before picture, you can see that the students weren't very organized crossing the street and getting to school. And of course, that's not something we want to see happen. But on the right-hand side, after the project was completed, you can see that the students are going into school. There's organization there's curb cuts. A lot of work was done for the after picture to make this a safe, accessible route for the students to get to and from school each day. Next slide. One of the things we did this year was we also included a look ahead for projects. And so I just included these two shout outs here for Newman, the State Rehabilitation Project for 2025, and then Houston's Surface Improvement Project Phase 2. So these are projects that are coming up in the next cycle. Next slide. Then we go to the regional projects. Of course, we know that the State Route 132 is our biggest project and is one that we really put emphasis on. But I do want to emphasize something that really came to me when looking at the way we laid the product out this year. And that is all the work that's going along the State Route 99. You can see that if you look at down the page, you see State Route 99 back with Stanford, State Route 99 Briggsmore Interchange, State Route Service Mitchell interchange. And so you really can see that there is going to be a lot of work going on along the State Route 99 corridor, which is great. Anyone that uses that route or uses any of these intersections, which I do, knows that it's really important to get these in good working order because there is a lot of traffic, jammed up traffic, and this will help alleviate that. Next slide, please. This slide shows all the great work that our transit operators have been doing over the course of the cycle. They let us know what their ridership is and some of the other important work that they are doing as well. Next slide, please. So this item was presented to the Social Services Technical Advisory Committee on January 7th. It was given to the Management and Finance Committee and the Citizens Advisory Committee on January 8th. The Management and Finance Committee made two suggestions that we'll put into the 24-25 report. And the first one is that there should be balances for each of the little tables that you see for like the local projects. There should be another column that has the balance of what is left in the fund, so that we can see, because some of the smaller jurisdictions especially save their money up so that they can do a larger project. So they might carry a heavier load of cash balance, if you will, so that they can use that money to leverage other types of funding. And then also that we should, under the transit portion, that we should go ahead and include a little table that shows all the different forms of funding that transit can access, because transit does have a lot of different types of funds, state and federal funds that they can access when they're putting together their projects. So that would help folks understand, all that they're not really getting shortchanged. They do have a lot of other alternatives. And then finally, this item was taken to the exec the other day, and it was passed unanimously. And with that, that concludes my report, and I'd be happy to take questions.
Any members have any questions?
Being none. Excuse me. Any members of the public? Bring this item back for a motion.
Approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those not in favor? Thank you. Moving on to the annual listing obligated projects fiscal year 2024. Jose Luis.
Hello, yes, I'm Jose Luis Caceres. I'm your Director of Programming and Program Delivery. StanCog is the federally designated metropolitan planning organization. We're required to produce annually the annual listing of obligated projects. Last year, our region obligated $100 million in federal funding to transportation projects, most of which is really just for maintaining and operating our system. I'm going to give a little brief background and then we'll drill into the annual listing. So I just said obligation, and I'm going to explain what an obligation is. So an obligation is permission to start federally reimbursable work. It's also when a project sponsor locks in budget authority so that when they start work, they can be assured that that money is there waiting for them to go get reimbursed. What does an annual listing mean then? Well, it shows all the projects that locked up budget authority and received permission to start work. What does it not mean? It doesn't mean that they spent this money in the last year. It just means they got permission to start spending this money. It doesn't mean that it doesn't even necessarily mean that they've incurred costs. It just means they got permission to start incurring costs. So why do we track it if it's, this sort of simple definition? Well, it's a requirement. And also it's a window into how we're spending the public's federal transportation taxes and fees. So let's look into that window. Next slide, please. As I said, we obligated $100 million. There's three ways of looking at the annual listing, three ways of slicing it. The first is we can look at it by agency. The second is by type, or we can just drill down and look at the projects. By agency, the county is the powerhouse. They obligated $42 million. One thing that's interesting, though, is of that $42 million, they have 18 projects. 17 of them are all bridges. 17 of 18 projects. I just heard from Sam a little bit of trivia that I think maybe some of you might know. The county has the second oldest set of bridges in the whole state. Second to Butte County. That's some old bridges that need replacing, repairing, and fixing up. Again, this might be old information to some of you, but that gives you an idea of what the county's doing with the federal transportation dollars. StanCog shows up on this list. We're normally not a big spender. Go to the next slide, please. But we started right of way on the State Route 132, and so we obligated two different times, $2 million and $7 million for about $9 million. And then Caltrans did one rest area for $22 million. Sorry, didn't do it. They obligated funds to start work on a rest area on Highway 99. So the other way to look at this is to look at it by type. Next slide, please. So I mentioned bridges, 36%. Oh, yes.
I was just going to ask, where's the rest area going to be?
That is on the project list, and I did not bring it.
Oh, that's all right.
It's a first
No worries. No worries.
Highway 99, and sorry, someone might find it faster than me.
Is it the one that we have there?
I think it's closed right now, right? It's because
They're doing work.
you can't access it.
But yeah, the project list that's in the attachment, right there at the top, first project on the list is Caltrans with the basic project information. And I can also go and dig up more information on any of these projects for the board members.
No worries. You're saying?
So by type, we spend a lot of money on bridges and maintenance and operational improvements. I actually like the pie chart better, so let's go to the next slide. So you look at this maintenance and operations, that's not the bridges, that's road rehabilitation, that's signal improvements. It's just kind of keeping our system working and improving its operations. The bridges, that's also maintenance, replacing a bridge, fixing a bridge. Even if you widen a bridge from 2 to 4 lanes, you're still improving the maintenance and operation of our system. Transit, that 14% is spent to replace old buses with new, cleaner buses and also operating assistance. Again, basically to maintain and operate our system. Really, you add up those three slices, 86% of the funding obligated last year is keeping the lights on. It's maintaining our system. And then that 4% of planning and transportation demand management, that is us maintaining van pools that encourages people to carpool instead of driving on their own. That's the May's Bike Month promotion. And that's also federal funds used to help pay for our planning here at Stancott. That roadway, even that roadway 10%, that's not us really building new highways. That's State Route 132. It's us moving traffic off of Mays Boulevard onto a new facility. So the takeaway here is 100 million was obligated, most of which, or even all of which, you could describe as for maintaining and making operational improvements to our system. With that, I'll take any questions. Next slide.
The rest of
Questions?
it, I think along I-5 out in Burnell, it's not, because they're open now that I think about it, in Turlock.
Oh, sorry, that rest area is on I-5, not 99, excuse me.
Any questions from the members? Any members of the public? This was just a report, so there's no motion required.
That's right, it's just a report that we produce every year.
Yes, thank you very much. Moving on to item D.
Members, before we move, I just wanted to make a comment. The reason that I find this report really critical and important, not only do we have to send it to our federal highways, because they want to see what we're doing with the money, but I think it's important for you all to see how your regions, your cities are doing with this funding. So it's really telling of what we do through the year. So it's good. Thank you.
No problem. Item D, motion to approve our resolution 24-23 fiscal year 2022-23 and fiscal year 2023-24 local transportation fund LTF supplemental program. I had an issue doing this the other day. Appropriation. Somebody help me here.
Apportionment.
Apportionment. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Just wanted to
Okay,
make sure.
thank you. Next,
Jean?
next slide, please. So according to the transit cost sharing procedures, a supplemental local transportation fund, LTF, apportionment occurs when there's more funds, where more funds are received than originally estimated. The excess LTF funds are apportioned using the methodology outlined in the transit cost sharing procedures, which are 3% planning and programming, 2% for non-motorized, and the remaining funds are held in reserves for future transit purposes. Next slide, please. So for the 22-23 supplemental apportionment, we estimated that there would be $31 million in LTF that year. What we actually received for 22-23 was $32,087,297, leaving a balance or a supplemental apportionment of $1,078,440. Next slide. This slide shows how those funds would be divided up, as I just noted, giving us the $1 million, a little over for the supplemental apportionment. Okay, for the next year, 23-24, we do the same thing. The estimated LTF that year was $32 million. We actually received $32,188,142. Leaving a supplemental apportionment of $188,042. Next slide. This slide again goes over the formula and the methodology to go ahead and parcel those funds out. So just as way of background, because I think it might be one of the questions we might have, but we have a total estimated funds in reserve right now of 21.4 million. We started before this estimation at 20.2 million. And then the amount of LTF, according to resolution 1820, the amount of LTF needed for transit is, once it's known, the remaining funds will be held in reserve for other transit or rail needs as determined by the board. So that's just a little background in case to help with any questions. But with that, we're looking for a motion.
Members, any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead,
What
sir.
was the reserve amount again?
So the reserve amount now is 21.4.
And does that include money that we've set aside for the building?
No, this is,
That's in a separate fund.
yes, these funds are set aside for rail or other transit purposes as according to our resolution for the transit cost sharing.
Thank you.
Well,
By statute.
by statute, Jane, this funding cannot be utilized for anything.
Oh, I
else. It
apologize.
cannot be used for operations or anything like that that the COG could use.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, thank
But
you.
it could be used for roadway improvements if it's above and beyond, if it's not utilized, if it's not claimed by transit. And just for the two new members, years ago, we counted on, so transit gets first pull of this money. The auditor controller of the county sets a figure of what they think the sales tax portion is going to be. And you see it's 30, was it 31, 32 million, whatever the number was. And so then the transit operators, of which there's two of them, Turlock has the BLAST system, the Turlock Transit, and then Modesto, and well, everyone else has the Stan RTA. So they claim on the money, and there's some other folks that claim on that money. One of the people that could claim on the money is the future ACE train. And there's going to be a cost associated with that. So rather than reimbursing this back, because the potential is there to reimburse it back to the 9 jurisdictions, and we had determined, and I'm guessing what year, 2006, no, it was earlier than that, because when Measure L passed and SB1 is when we started putting the money away. So it would have been 16 and 17, 16 and 17. And we felt that there's enough money coming in that we didn't reimburse this million or $2 million that we were receiving every year. So we put it in reserve in anticipation of ACE train, because there's going to be a cost associated with that. And it's built up to something that we think we can actually do it in the beginning. If the auditor controller hits the number right on the dot, that number will be zero.
Yes.
There won't be any reserve. And you see it keeps going down
Mhm.
because our sales tax base is actually dropped. If you look in our packet and look at Measure L, the last 2 years, we've dropped in sales tax overall.
And the other reason, as you know, Member Kiesa, is the cost of the transit operators doing business is going up at the same time for wages and that kind of thing. So they're claiming more than they used to, so that there's no residual left over there. And then you have this as well to equate into those factors. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's great information. Any other members? Any members of the public? We are looking for a motion on this.
Motion to approve?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Following items are for information only. Hopefully, everybody has an opportunity to read these items. Moving on to Caltrans report. Gregoria, Ponce, you have anything to provide for us today?
Good evening, Chair, members of the board. I do have one item. We recently released our 2024 California State Rail Plan. We're very excited about that. It is our long-range vision of statewide investments to create zero-emission, fully interconnected rail and transit network as part of California's ambitious climate change goals. The intent is creating a statewide rail network to connect seamlessly with other transportation modes, including intercity, regional, and local and transit systems, creating multimodal across California. I have no other items to share if anyone has any questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from first? Any questions from the public? Oh, you, sorry. You have a
Hey,
question?
Yes, I have two things for you, Gregoria. Yeah, Gregoria. Ponce, is it Ponce? Okay, thank you very much for showing up today. There are two things. I have a lot of constituents that have gotten to me. There was a horrible accident on Highway 165 in Greenway Avenue, just south of Turlock. I think it's just outside the city limits, but a family was lost. I think one person, there's one survivor who's not in too good a shape, but a lot of people ask about safety improvements. the county had cobbled some information together on people utilizing left-hand turn. It's highly trafficked, certain times of year, a lot of tomato trucks. And we had sent something out, asking if there's any near-term improvements that are possible, safety improvements. And it was sent to our vendor, Bajwa. Is that, and I know he's the chief operations officer. So he had responded that he was going to look into that. I wanted to make you aware and make sure that Grace is aware of that, because it's something, there have been some accidents there, and it just happens to be, it's a tough spot. There's a little market there on the corner where trucks pull off, and I'm not sure exactly what to do. I'm just making you aware of something that is a huge concern for people and in the Turlock area. And then there was another component, 3 counties that we'd been working for some time on J59, which goes from Highway 108 by Don Pedro, LaGrange, so it goes through 3 counties all the way down to Snelling. That segment, even though it's state highway, the state highway does not take care of it. They take care of the portion from Highway 99 to Snelling, but then there's the portion that each one of Merced County, Stanislaus County, and Tuolumne County are in charge of it. We've had some preliminary conversations, haven't gone anywhere, more because board members have been changing, but it's another conversation I need to have with Caltrans. The 3 counties agree that it would be better off because it's a safety component where the fire trucks, there's a fire station, and they utilize that heavily. And we'd like to see if we can get the state to take over that section, make it state highway all the way through. So.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that intake. I am aware that Grace Mexayo, our director, as well as our traffic operations deputy, Duper Tong, did receive that information during our January 2nd StanCog Executive Steering Committee meeting, and a safety study has been initiated in that area with regards to the consideration of adoption for J59 across those 3 counties. I'll certainly take that back to Grace and our exec team.
Okay, thank you very much.
Set something up. Thank you.
Yes.
I just wondered if the governor's budget gave any insight into transportation.
I'm certain it does, but how that translates is yet to be seen. Absolutely. And just to clarify,
Thank
that
you.
was I-5 Wesley Rest area right at the boundary of San Joaquin and Stanislaus. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Do you know if that's a new rest area or is it a rebuild? Okay, thank you.
Any other members?
I just wanted to answer to Member Sumali's question regarding the budget with the governor. Gus, unfortunately, couldn't be here today. He was going to be prepared to give you an update on the governor's budget, but he will bring that information back at his February meeting. Thank you.
Any members of the public? Any questions for Caltrans? Seeing none. Okay, thank you very much. Now to the executive director report. Do you have anything to report?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and welcome members of the StanCog Policy Board. It's so great to see you all, and also to welcome our 2 new members. So I heard today by Cindy Malecos that the Office of Riverbank announced that Ms. Hernandez will be our member. So thank you, Rachel, for being part of our group here, and also to Ms. Phillips with the City of Turlock. Those are formal now to be our members here. So thank you very much, both of you. And we're here for any questions you may have. Myself and staff is here to answer anything that you may have regarding our planning process. But Happy New Year to all of you, and thank you very much for being here.
Welcome. Moving on to member reports. Are there any members that have any reports? That was too easy. Okay. So, I thought you almost had your hand up for a second there. Well, thank you very much, everyone. There is no member reports, and we will now adjourn this meeting.
Oh.
Next meeting is scheduled for February 19th, 2025, 6 p.m.
I can't believe it. We're done.